Welcome back to the Eagle Network. It's time for The Pitch, an Ashland University women's soccer coaches show. I'm Cade Crackerson alongside head coach Caleb Bueno. Caleb, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me again.
It's great to have you back in here. You know, we're going on a streak right now, 2 weeks in a row. We'll hopefully get it through the entire season. But let's talk about this weekend to start. You guys go 1-1. Initial thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of growth for the weekend. You know, you play another top 25 team in the country to start out on the road on a neutral site. Very much an NCAA game. I thought, you know, we were not necessarily as upset that we lost, but that we didn't get the result because I thought we were good enough to get one. And I think we bounced back, you know, after having some really good conversations on Saturday, the day off, and really motivating the group and changing the lineup a little bit again on Sunday, and we're able to get a result at Davenport. So we're really excited. Yeah,
and both were on the road too. You know, you mentioned something there, but like kind of regrouping on Saturday. Is that at all a harder thing to do when you're on the road?
I think it's easier because we can dedicate time to some of those things. You know, I think our biggest breakthrough in the last 48 hours was probably bowling, to be honest with you. I think that, you know, that we had conversations with the classes, and it's hard when you have a brand new group and you have 14 new players and 3 new transfer players coming on, and we're trying to build that culture and that chemistry, and, you know, they don't necessarily know what it's like because they weren't here.
For sure.
So we had constant conversation about it and kind of talked about what our struggles were, you know, as a group culturally, and, you know, we ended up as a staff picking teams for bowling and playing with the players and creating a lot of competition. I'm not sure the bowling alley was ready for us. But the excitement, I think, translated into the support on the bench and the excitement for the team on Sunday, and that was great.
Yeah, and so let's talk about Friday first and foremost here before we dive into the game on Sunday, kind of more in depth. But, you know, Central Missouri, a tough loss for you guys, but offensively, you guys were on the prowl the whole game, out shooting them. I think it was like 21-4, and then corner kicks, 11 of the 12 went to you guys.
Yeah, I thought we were playing some of our best, and we told the group after, you know, you have to take advantage of your chances. It could have been 3-0 in the first 15 minutes. But credit to Central Missouri, like, you know, they played their really good forward, and she took advantage of the opportunity that she had, and she put it in the back of the net. And then we were searching for the second one, and I think for us, we're still trying to figure out who we are as far as the lineup and rotation. But to be able to play at that level against a team that's going to win a lot of games, like, I thought there was a lot of positives to take away because we're playing at a high level so early with such a young team. But I think there's also things that we got to learn from, like mistakes that we're getting punished for.
Yeah, and now moving into Sunday's matchup, obviously you guys had that one day in between on Saturday to kind of regroup, recompose yourselves. Then you're up against Davenport, and you guys came out once again early swinging, and this time capitalized on the chances. Your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, it's a very similar to a conference opponent. You know, for us to be in that environment is a very physical game. We have to learn how to play through those kinds of things. And I thought the warm-up was great. I thought the conversation in the locker room was great. I thought the interaction between the players was great, and it translated to the start of the game. So I think for us, you know, it was a really good step forward in our preparation for conference play coming up. And, you know, a lot of things to build off of 1-1, a weekend again for us against another ranked opponent in the country. And, you know, I think we're starting to build in the right direction.
Yeah, and you know, I feel like we're probably going to talk about it every week, but Danny Hicks continues to do things that Danny Hicks always does, and that's find the back of the net. 2 goals for her on Sunday against Davenport. She just took advantage of everything. And, you know, how have you seen her growth this year, even from the first game up against Grand Valley to even where we are now?
Yeah, I think there was growth from the game on Friday to the game on Sunday. She had the same exact opportunities, and, you know, I think she learned from the conversation that her and I have been having about scoring goals, and, you know, she put them in the back of the net and created that momentum for us. So, you know, she's going to be one of the best players on the field every single game. Can she take advantage of the moments that she gets? Because, you know, the game on Sunday, she gets the ball and there's 6 or 7 players around her and she creates a chance and scores. So, you know, she's going to continue to be one of the best players in the country, but she's also becoming a really good leader for our program and buying into helping the group build the culture. I think that's important when one of your best players is involved in that.
Yeah, and I want to talk about something a little bit odd that happens at times, and that's own goals, okay? You know, you guys are up 1-0, then they commit an own goal header in the top right corner to go up 2-0. For you guys as a team, how do you make that a momentum swinging moment? You know, because, you know, you put the ball in that position for it to end up being an own goal, but still no one gets credited with it. It's an odd situation.
Yeah, I think, again, we learned from Friday's game, like, we weren't putting the ball in dangerous areas for even that to even happen.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes you got to create your own luck, and Clara put a ball in a dangerous area and they had to deal with it. And unfortunately for them, it went off a player and went in. And, I think like it's just another opportunity to go, hey, we wanted to score on a set piece goal. It was a set piece goal that we scored on. However it goes in, but that was one of our goals. And, I think we celebrate those kinds of moments. And, it's a team accomplishment and we don't know who's going to get credited to. So, we still celebrate the goal going in because we created 2-0 deficit for the other team. So I think at the end of the day, like you embrace any time it goes in the back of the net, no matter how it does.
Yeah. We've talked about a little bit of different times now, me and you, about some of the youngsters on your team and, filling up that next man mentality with injuries and with people trying to still find their footing in the year. Any youngsters stand out over the weekend?
Yeah, I think we put Tess in a situation where she created chances for us. She didn't get in the score sheet, but she put some incredible opportunities for us to create chances. And I think that's coming down the road for her. And, we inserted a CC into the lineup on Sunday, and I thought she provided a lot for us out in the wider areas. And, Carly getting her first career goal for us is huge. Like she's filling the roles of an All-American that did it all for us for a long time, and she's filling those shoes very quickly and gaining confidence. So we're excited. We went with a method of trying to balance some returners and younger players in the lineup all at the same time, rather than putting all the first-year kids together on the field. So I think they're really blending well, and they're building confidence and learning from the older players, and the older players again are taking them under their wing, and I'm really starting to see that success pay off.
Yeah, and as you get ready for conference play, what were some of the biggest takeaways that you can draw from non-conference play into conference play?
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think we're really good on the ball. Like we're playing some of our best early in the year, and we've kind of told that to the group. Like in previous years, we've gotten results, but we've kind of grinded it out and survived. Now we're playing a different brand where I think we can knock it around and create chances, but also we have to continuing to try to keep it out of the back of the net. And we've been punished a few times in trying to build and doing some things that are a little bit uncharacteristic of our program, but will help us down the road. So you kind of learn from those moments of when to play, when to be more direct, and when to try to keep it out of the back of the net. But I think the game that we played on Sunday prepares us for the conference. I thought running into tackles, running in front of the ball to save a shot, putting yourself in a position to try to score a goal. Like those are things that we missed on the Friday's game that I thought they took it upon themselves to show that character in the group.
Yeah, and you guys have conference action coming this week. Thursday against Tiffin, Saturday against Ashland. Unfortunately, both are at home. What does that mean to the team?
Well, we've been in a hotel for the last 4 days. So and there were some sleepy eyes probably this morning going to class and doing that. But, now we're back to routine. We didn't have a routine on the road before, so we've kind of built one, with this past trip. But, anytime we're at Ferguson Field, I think the group responds really, really well, and they're always up for the challenge. So 2 night games for us this week. I think they'll embrace that, and they're really excited to see what we can do to start conference play.
Yeah. Any players that you're looking out to see have big games this coming week?
Yeah, I just want to see how we respond for a young group, and now the games really matter. So we'll see. With Tiffin, they always provide a tough opposition for us and make things difficult, and we'll see how we handle it with a young group and continue to build off the successes that we've had the last couple of weeks. And we're excited for the challenge, and we'll see how it goes.
Last thing for you, Coach, message to Eagle Nation to get them out there and support you guys.
Yeah, unbelievable environment last time. We were at home. Hopefully that created a sense of, man, this is really fun, and an atmosphere we want to keep continuing to create. So we love the support from you guys and continue to support our program. And the men have a couple games this week as well. So, Eagles supporting Eagles is a big part of the community here, and we hope that you guys can come to those games.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time here today.
Yeah, thank you.
That's all that we have today for The Pitch, a women's soccer coaches show right here on the Eagle Network. As a reminder, go to goashlandeagles.com for everything you could possibly need for Ashland University women's soccer and Flow College for the matchup this week that will be streamed by the Eagle Network. We'll catch you guys next time. See you then.